we go again.
Did you watch the women's and men's championships?
I watched the women's game and I browsed at the men's game, meaning that I was really invested to see who was actually, actively gonna win the girls' game. Whereas the men's game, it was like, I had it on in the background. Don't really know any of the players. Didn't really have a dog in the fight, but I kind of wanted Purdue to win just because. Like I didn't. It like even when they lost, it was just like, okay, cool. You know, I knew my boys was watching it, so it was kind of one of those I wanted to know so that I could talk to them about it, and we ain't even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was very much interested in the girls' game. Now, I do have a question though, right? Because for the girls' game, uh, obviously Iowa lost, which means that South Carolina won, who also went undefeated, who's also, I think, what, won 3 of the last 4 or whatever, something like that.
3 and 7.
Why is the conversation still about Caitlin Clark?
So you know what I think, bro? I think that the reason why it's about Caitlin Clark is because I do think that okay, so very much how um you see someone transcend basketball, right? Push
Mhm.
basketball. I think the folklore of her and her game is something that we've never if realistically, here's the thing about it. If you think about it, realistically, we've seen outside of one player for South Carolina, I'm gonna set her aside for a second. But everything that South Carolina has doing, we've seen before, right? I think that Caitlin Clark has elevated basketball for women, right? And I think that that's where people wanted to see her win because you've seen her do everything except for win the national championship, though. I'll tell you this. This is the thing I think, and so that to me was the what I thought was what people were really rooting for because she was doing something that your eye had never seen before.
Right.
With that being said, I think that the part that I would have loved to have seen, I can't wait to and this girl from South Carolina, I can't think of her name. There's a girl who plays, I think, power forward for South Carolina who dunked in the game. I think she's dunked like twice. Like if I see her dunking regularly, bro, like in games, no layups, if all her layups was dunks, then to me, that's another one of those feats that transcends basketball. It catapults women's basketball. And I don't think that, like South Carolina had the better team, top to bottom. They had all these 4 and 5 star recruits, and I don't think that Iowa did. So I think that the reason why people were rooting for Iowa is because I think that it truly felt like a David and Goliath scenario, or you had a true underdog versus a stacked roster, though, bro.
So you don't look at it as it being that we got this white girl out here doing
I
her
don't think
thing.
so.
Okay.
I
So
don't
to
think
me,
so.
I likened it to uh Tiger Woods making an impact on golf.
The difference, though, is Tiger's impact. It was different because golf was traditionally a white guy's sport, and he's black doing it, right? I
Right.
think that the thing is, but I think that the difference is though, is that to be quite honest with you, we've seen a Caitlin Clark, right? Like Paige Beckers was on pace before she got hurt. You had never heard of Caitlin Clark before Paige Beckers got hurt that she would be able to shoot threes like that. But listen, listen, I don't think that people understand how good Paige Beckers is. Paige Becker was a freshman, won Player of the Year, and won a national championship when she was a freshman. I think she could have left college and went to the WNBA and dominated right away. She got hurt back-to-back years, and so this is her first year back. But so I think that people haven't. I think that it's Caitlin Clark's threes, the long distance, the same way how we see Steph do it. Now everybody does it. It wouldn't surprise me if you see more and more people incorporate long threes into their game like that. So I think that that's what it is. I don't think that it's because it was like, oh, we got this white girl that's playing against a bunch of primarily black girl or black team. Listen, I think that women's basketball has since I've been alive has always been dominated by black women. So I don't think that it was a what people were like, oh, we finally got our one. We about to root for our one white girl. I think that it's just her game transcended basketball, women's basketball. That's what I think it was.
Yeah. What about you? What
Yeah.
did you think of all the games and stuff?
Listen, to be honest with you, I was looking forward to what I was personally. I was rooting for South Carolina. The reason why I was rooting for South Carolina. This is gonna sound kind of silly because I think that in the grand history of basketball, I don't think that there's been very many black coaches that have won national championships, right? And while Don Staley already won one before, I was specifically rooting for her because I think she's of our culture, not our culture, but
Yeah, I know what
90s
you're saying. Yeah.
pop culture. Yeah, she's one of us. So I think that like I've been seeing Dawn Staley associated with women's basketball damn near all my life though. So I wanted her to win just from being familiar. I've met her before. Not gonna say met her, but it was like a oh snap, that's Don Staley. And she was like, oh yeah, what's she seems real cool though, man. Very much like what you would see on TV though. So but no, I was rooting for South Carolina. Oddly enough, I was in the process of moving around so much so that I didn't catch but the very tail end of the game. But oddly enough, I was looking at the men's game, and I watched that one all the way through because I wanted to see what the center for Purdue actually looks like when he was playing against another 7 foot guy, though, bro, from UConn. And listen, I think that one of the biggest differences to me when it came to college, I think that even with women's basketball versus men, I think that women had the stars this year. Like I know more women faces.
Yeah.
I couldn't name you. Listen, there's in this draft in this season, I mean, even with somebody like I keep up with AAU ball, and because I keep up with AAU ball, and I keep up with high school ball, and I see who's coming out and who's going to what schools. Even with that said, the guys who are like the top 10 college players, I only know what the center for Purdue looks like, and I know what my guy from and I can't even think of his name now, but I think that the Rob Dillingham and those are the only two that I can actually name. With that being said, though, bro, I think that the one thing that I think that's been different is that it looks like, especially like Kentucky, who had they were always the one and dones, right? And with the transfer portal changing things up, I think that you're going to see more and more teams move away from this getting the young teams. I thought that it was real dope that UConn won. I've never heard of UConn Center until the postseason. They
Yeah.
got this one kid, Castle, who I never heard of until the postseason. And sure, he's probably been good and projected for quite some time. But I like that it seems like the teams are more like traditional basketball teams now, though, man, where it's not a bad thing if you're a senior to be on a team, or a junior, So not stars, superstars. I think they were even saying that this particular draft might be the weakest draft ever, though, bro. Um,
Well, I do know the
but I
Thunder
think,
is looking at the center for UConn.
well, I can see that for depth, yeah, because you think Chet's a center, but he ain't that kind of center, though,
Nah,
right?
nah, Chet's not really a center though. That's the whole thing. Chet is
Yeah,
a
I think
Kevin
he's more
Durant
like a
essentially.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he a Dirk. So
yeah. No, I get it. I get it to have that kind of depth. I think it's dope. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this though. I think that while there are no true superstars, I'm not going to bet against the Oklahoma. I wouldn't bet against the Thunder nailing it. Like whoever they get is going to be a good pick. Like and not just from the past, right? But I'm just saying I think that they have Thunder kind of guys all throughout this particular draft, where they're not the number one caliber guy, but a guy that's like 12, 13, 14 that you can turn into a good pro, though, man.
yeah, that
Yeah,
fits into a good system. Like
that fits into
nobody
the
saw
system.
nobody saw J Dub being as good as he is.
I didn't. What school did J Dub go to?
Santa Clara.
Yes, right. What about the other?
Arkansas. Jay
You,
Will
you,
went
you,
to
you
Arkansas.
yeah. So you fan like that. I'm a basketball fan,
No. I only
and
know that because they're a part of the
you
Thunder.
only right. That's what I'm saying. But for me, I'm a basketball fan. And while the Thunder is a team I root for, I'm not on the fanatic level that you are, to where you know those kind of things. But that's kind of what I'm saying. I think in this draft there'll be more guys like that available for the Thunder to pick, though, man.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
you know,
whoever
Sam
they pick
Quincy,
in this round, yeah,
yeah, you know, Sam is on it, bro. Sam be
yeah.
on it.
Oh, I think whoever they pick will make an impact. And listen, we talk about Trey Man all the time, bro. Trey Man was the real thing. He just didn't have the minutes. He go to the Hornets and he go
Hooping
and
them
do his
boys up.
thing.
He was
Poku,
hooping Thunder up,
what
bro.
Poku
Yeah,
was over there doing this thing, and it just didn't have the minutes. And
yeah.
listen, I don't know that he ever had a lot of minutes for him like that,
He
though,
did.
bro.
He got hurt. Poku had a great 2021, right? And then when he got hurt, he just didn't. He lost his spot when he got hurt. But look, the Hornets picked up Meechit. They picked up Bertans. They picked up Poku, and they picked up Trey Young. So we was basically playing against the Thunder the other night.
If I'm bro, if I'm an NBA team and I see any former player who was drafted by the Thunder come on the market, I'm picking him up. It just makes sense to me. Look, I can't even think of the last flop. The last one that was just a complete. This boy ain't got no business being in the league.
Kyle Ziegler.
Singler.
Yeah. We
Yeah, but
said
he didn't get
Ziegler.
drafted by the Thunder, did he?
He got. I don't know how we ended up with him, but we said he must know where the bodies is at because there ain't nowhere in the world he should still be with the Thunder, bro. Like I don't know of another miss that the Thunder has had outside of him.
Yeah. I know who you talking about, man. I just don't remember. I don't think he got drafted by them, though, bro.
No, I don't think he did either, but some kind of way he ended
He
up
went
on
to
our
Duke
squad.
too. Yeah. He went to listen. I'm not gonna lie. At Duke, he balled out, bro.
Right, but he got in the league and scrubbed out.